A lot of you guys know that I just got back from my 20th anniversary trip out west with my wife, and I wanted to give you guys a bit of a trip recap because I went to some pretty cool places out in Seattle, and I just kind of wanted to run through the experience of what it was like to go for 2 weeks by rail across the country. It was kind of incredible, and it's something that I look forward to doing again. What's going on, everyone? I'm Jay, the channel is Square Pegs. Normally we talk video games, and yeah, we are going to do that today as well. But this is more of a trip report. There's going to be some pickup stuff at the end, and I am going to be doing the 1,000 subscriber giveaway at the end as well, so we can actually have our winner revealed. So yeah, 20 years with my unbelievably patient and fantastic wife. We have talked about doing a train trip pretty much since we got married, and we decided that this was the year to take the plunge, and can't tell you how incredible it was. Our trip was divided into different segments, basically. So we had 5 segments each. We started going from Kalamazoo to Chicago, and then the main stretch of it for this first leg was Chicago to San Francisco, or Emeryville, which is right across the bay from San Francisco. And that is on a line called Amtrak's California Zephyr. Now, the neat thing about the California Zephyr is this is the one that gives you the most scenic views of any of Amtrak's lines. And yeah, it's pretty incredible. So day one isn't much to see. You leave Chicago, you end up going through Iowa and Nebraska, and by the time I was asleep, I don't even know that we had gotten through Iowa yet. I was just exhausted. We left Chicago at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was tired. The train broke down like immediately, like 30 minutes outside of Chicago we broke down. But it got restarted. We got back on our way. And in the morning, I woke up in Denver, Colorado. Now, to me, this was a big deal because the furthest west I'd ever been to this point was Minneapolis, Minnesota. I had never seen anything past the Mississippi River, really. I mean, downtown Minneapolis is technically past the Mississippi, but I hadn't seen anything beyond that at this point. So waking up in Denver was kind of a big deal and was kind of awesome. Now, the neat thing about the Zephyr is that you do get all these awesome vistas as you're going through, but the main stretch of day 2 is just cutting through the Rockies, and the train has to go slow because it's almost all an incline. So you were treated to this absolutely spectacular view as you just cut through the Colorado countryside and up the Rocky Mountains. The first thing you do that's kind of a big deal is the Big Ten curve, and the reason it's called that is because from overhead it looks like the number 10, and you're doubling back and looping around, and you actually get to see Denver off in the distance, which is really cool. But after that, it's into the Rockies proper, and you're going through these just unbelievable views and seeing these majestic mountains. And the neat thing about Colorado that I didn't know, at least I didn't realize, is how different the landscape goes the further into the Rockies you get. And eventually you start following the Colorado River, which is really cool. And one of the traditions for rafters on the Colorado River that are facing alongside the train is that they moon the passersby. So I saw a whole lot of human butt on the trip. Lots of human butt. Some great, some not so great, some fat, some flat, some hairy, some not. I learned a lot about people in Colorado that they desperately need hobbies, but who am I to judge? But something I didn't realize about Colorado, and I guess if I had logically thought about it, I would have realized this, is you go from these classic gray mountains that people kind of picture of what the Rockies are, these big, huge, gray, towering behemoths, to all of a sudden red rock. And you're into the desert because you go from Colorado and you cut into Utah. And it's drab and it's brown, and it's, it was kind of shocking to go from this lush green mountainous terrain to kind of red and sandy, but it was still beautiful in its own way. Now, I didn't get to see much of Utah. We got into Utah when it was dark, and I went to sleep because it's Utah. When you get to Reno, you're very close to the California border, and it seemed like the second you crossed that California border, all of a sudden plant life was back, and that was crazy to experience because it was gorgeous all of a sudden. The northern mountains of California, up around the Donner Pass and Lake Tahoe, it's just stunning. But we got into San Francisco. We went to Trader Vic's. As you guys know, I'm a big tiki fan, and Trader Vic's was right around the corner from our hotel, so we walked down to Trader Vic's for our anniversary dinner and had a wonderful night and spent one evening in San Francisco before taking our next train ride up to Seattle. We left San Francisco at 10 o'clock at night, got to Seattle the next night, and the neat thing about this is called the Coast Starlight. And you take the Coast Starlight up the Pacific Coast and you cut through the Cascade Mountains. You cut through Portland, which was really cool to see. And then eventually you go to northern Washington and you follow the coast of Puget Sound around until you arrive in Seattle at King Street Station. Now, Seattle for me has been a goal for a very long time. I fell in love with kind of the mythology of Seattle when I was a kid. Pearl Jam's 10 was one of my favorite albums. Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Soundgarden, pretty much if it was grunge, I was into it. And I've wanted to go to Seattle since then, and this was a dream come true for me. We stayed at an Airbnb in the University District, which is just north of Seattle proper. and it was magical. We had a wonderful time there. They had a gigantic golden retriever that was just adorable and wonderful, and just he was so cool to play with and be able to pet and hang out with. And we will definitely be staying there again. So when we were in Seattle, we did some really awesome stuff, and we went to a bunch of awesome places. And the first place I wanted to go that was a big deal to me was Pink Gorilla Games. You guys know I've been excited about this one. I've been talking about it for a while. This guy actually is going out to our 1,000 subscriber winner when that is announced at the end of the video. But Pink Gorilla was amazing. We went to the University District store. There were a ton of games in there, like it's just an astronomical amount of stuff. I love the way that they have their stuff organized and hung on the walls. I think that's really cool. We bought a lot of plushies, lots of plush. We brought home for Victor and for Meredith and I and for our friend Corey. And we picked up some games there, and I will be showing you the pickups at the end of the video, so please be sure to stay tuned there. After we went to Pink Gorilla, we went to the Seattle Kraken Community Iceplex, where I got my brand new Seattle Kraken jersey, and we spent a lot of money. This is actually where I spent the most money on the trip, was at the Seattle Kraken team store, because I mean, you guys know I love hockey. This is the first time the Seattle Kraken are going to be in existence, and you can't really pass that up. So I got my away jersey. I got my white away jersey. We got hats and shirts and sweatshirts and pucks and keychains. If it had a Kraken logo on it, chances are I bought it and I brought it home, or I sent it to Victor early so he could have something to open while we were on our trip. The next day we went up to Everett, Washington, and in Everett we went to the Funko HQ. I'm a Funko collector, and I've wanted to go there for ages. And it was everything that I had hoped it would be. The building itself is stunning. Everett's a really cool little town. Like it's right on the water. There's a military base there, so it's an industrial town that's kind of transformed itself into something else. The day after that, we had our trip to Another Castle. Now, Another Castle is just north of Seattle, and this is one I've seen on Metal Jesus' videos, and I had to check this place out because it just looked incredible, and Another Castle absolutely blew my mind. The store is massive, first of all, absolutely huge, with unbelievable organization. Like, everything is just sorted and pristine and clean and wonderful, and the staff was magnificent. I cannot state enough how great the staff was, and that is why I bought a bunch of stuff there too. Well, not a bunch of stuff. I bought 2 Wii games and a couple of accessories there that I had to pick up, as well as a couple of gifts that we sent back. It was everything that I want a used game store to be, a retro game store to be. It had arcade machines and pinball machines, and again, just unbelievable staff that knew what they were talking about. And it was so nice to be able to go in and just kind of talk to someone about games I like and things I was looking for, and they knew what I wanted. And here's the most impressive thing. So I signed up for their rewards program when I was there because I figured, well, what the hell? I mean, I kind of fell in love with the Pacific Northwest when I was there, and if I ever moved there, it would be nice to have that already set up. It's one less thing to take care of, you know? And I bought something when I was there, and I actually got a call 3 weeks later from the store manager and said, hey, we saw that you bought this when we were there, and we actually got the game in stock that these go to. Did you need us to hold it for you? And that's a level of customer service I cannot begin to fathom. I haven't had that happen to me since I was in Orlando. The next day we went to Pike Place Market, and we actually did the whole touristy thing. We did a donut tour, walking around downtown Seattle, got donuts from 5 different locations. And then we did a chef's tour of Pike Place Market, which was unbelievable. We went to 9 different stores when we were in Pike Place, got samples of food from each place, and it was delicious. Absolutely the best experience on the trip. Well, the second best experience on the trip. I will get to the best one right now, because the next day we headed south. We left Seattle, we drove south for a couple hours, and we went to a town in southern Washington because I really wanted to meet my friend, the immortal John Hancock. And being able to, like, I'm tickled because of this. It was so cool to meet him. John and I have been talking regularly, and I'm so happy to call John a friend for over a year now. And to be able to meet him actually in person and not just over video chat or over a Facebook chat was unbelievable. I met his amazing wife, his fantastic kids. I got to see the game room and the collection, and it's you can't mentally prep yourself for taking the collection in, because it's a lot. But John and his wife were just, and I'm not saying her name, I know her name, but just for privacy reasons, I'm not going to say it. But John and his wife and his kids were just so warm and generous with their time, and just phenomenal to be around, and so gracious to have us into their home. People they'd never met before, they didn't know us, but to have us into their home and just spend time with us, and it was It was everything I wanted it to be, and my absolute favorite memory of Seattle. Something that I just adored, and I can't wait to see John again, whether it's back in Washington or at Portland Retro Gaming Expo or something like that. I can't wait to see him again, because that's a friend for life there. He's just an unbelievable dude, and just my favorite part of the trip. There's tons of other touristy stuff we did. We stopped at a place called Tumwater Falls when we were there. We went to Gasworks Park. And the thing that struck me the most about Seattle and Washington in general is just how green it is. And I don't just mean from a color perspective. I also mean from a conservation and recycling perspective. Like, being in a city that has a municipal composting program and a municipal recycling program that Seattle does was kind of inspiring and just fantastic to be around. I mean, I've mentioned in the past that conservation is a big deal to me, and seeing a city take it seriously and know that they're trying to make efforts to make the world a better place was awesome. We stopped in Chicago for a night on the way back, and then returned to Kalamazoo, and been here for about 2 weeks since, and I still think about Seattle every day. I mean, as you can tell, I got a Mariners hat and a Kraken jersey. I kind of went native, and I loved it. I really did. It was one of my favorite things I've ever done, and I can't wait to go back. We're very excited to return, hopefully sometime next year, and we'll be bringing Victor with us this time, because we really want him to see the state, because we think he's going to fall in love with it too. But this is a video game channel, as I said, and you guys are here for the game, so let's go over some of the pickups that I've gotten over the last few weeks. It's not going to be just from the trip. There's been some other stuff as well, specifically some very cool stuff from a good friend of mine. But yeah, let's go over to the pickups, and we'll take a look at all that stuff. All right, so we are going to start with the Switch pickups, because that's my main console of choice. And the game I got for my trip out, which I actually didn't end up playing all that much, but I absolutely enjoyed when I did play, was Hot Wheels Unleashed for the Switch. Now, this doesn't look quite as good as it does on the Xbox, but it plays fantastically, and it is a lot of fun to play. Next up, I went to GameStop with John when I was out there in his area, and I picked up the last copy his GameStop had of Metroid Dread, and this was for my trip home. And it is every piece of hype you have heard about. Doesn't even come close to how good this game is. It is absolutely fantastic. Next, I had this shipped to the house when I was out. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. This is really good. It's not perfect. There's something off about the physics. I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but it's still, I mean, it's Monkey Ball, so it's a ton of fun, and it's a really great game. There's something off, and I can't quite figure out what it is. Next up, we have Metal Unit from Super Rare Games. I have not bought a lot of Super Rare stuff this year, just some of the releases haven't really done anything for me, but this is a game I had my eye on, and it was something I wanted to check out. It's a platforming adventure game. It's really fun, and it's got mechs in it, so you can't go wrong with that. So next up, this is from a Kickstarter I backed, and this is from the Get Equipped Kickstarter, and this is really cool because this is an art print. It's not actually a game, but it is game related, and this is a poster featuring all of the Robot Master power-ups from Mega Man. Next up, this is one you guys probably all saw coming, but I get it every year, so it's something that shouldn't come as a surprise, but I still gotta list it. NHL 22 from EA. Really like the Frostbite engine implementation here. Character models look great, physics are a little bit stronger. Gameplay is still a little bit slow for me. It doesn't quite feel quite to the pace I want it at, but it's still fun. Next up, I want to show you the things I got from Pink Gorilla Games. Obviously, you guys already saw the Pink Gorilla plush. There's a few other plushes around the house that I don't have down here right now, but we got a set of Dr. Mario Virus plush. We got a Splatoon plush for Victor. We got some stuff for Meredith, and some Christmas presents that I cannot reveal on camera. But from a game perspective, I got World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, which is really awesome because I am slowly building up my Genesis collection, which is really awesome. And I got something here, if you guys saw on Twitter from the State of Play recently, I actually kind of made a comment about how, oh look, another Star Ocean game that I will fall in love with and then never play. And that's kind of the case here, because I used to have this game and I never really got around to playing it, and Pink Gorilla had it for dirt cheap, so I was happy to grab Star Ocean till the end of time for the PS2. Definitely going to give this one another shot. I like the games and I play them, there's always so much other stuff to play, so getting this one back for, next to nothing, I think I got it for under $10 was awesome. Now, as I mentioned, when we were in Washington, I went to the unbelievable Another Castle games, and I wanted to show you the three things I got there. They were all for the Nintendo Wii. First up is the Metal Slug Anthology. I love Metal Slug. I desperately wanted to have this game, and I have not seen it at any store around here, so to find it at Another Castle was awesome. This was the first thing I saw, and I grabbed immediately. The next thing I got, I actually showed this on a DS Hidden Gems. This is the continuation of that series, and sadly the last game in the series, and that is Spectrobe's Origins. I love the Spectrobe series. I think this is one of Disney's neatest IPs that they've just kind of abandoned. And I haven't played the Wii one yet, so I wanted to pick this one up, and I hope it's good. I really do. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I hope it's really good. Now, longtime viewers of the channel will know that I did a past due review in the past, and I really need to get back to that series. I enjoyed the past due reviews, but I did a past due review of Samba de Amigo for the Wii, and I found out after the fact that there are actually maracas for the Wii, and I got them. I got maracas. I was so stoked to find these. Another Castle had them on the wall. They were $10. Like, I couldn't pass that up. Like, this is such a good deal. I walked in and I was looking at the Wii games, and Meredith just goes, "Jay, they have the maracas." And yes, I know how absolutely stupid it is that I'm excited about maracas, but I'm excited about maracas. I don't care. I love Samba de Amigo. And to have those, because I never had it for the Dreamcast. I never had the maracas for the Dreamcast. It's something I'm going to be looking for at Midwest Gaming Classic when I go. If you see me at Midwest Gaming Classic, please do not hesitate to stop me and say you want to take a picture. I'd be happy to. And I will give you one of our Square Peg stickers. That's right, we have stickers now. So I will be happy to give you one when I am at a show. I would love to meet somebody. So please don't hesitate to say anything. I'll be happy to say hi. And if you want to see Victor and Meredith, they're going to be there with me as well on Sunday. Now, going forward, I told you I went and met with the immortal John Hancock, and it was an absolutely fantastic experience. Just being able to meet John was cool, but John didn't let me leave without swag because John's a good dude. And John knows that I'm kind of putting together a Genesis collection, and there's a lot of Genesis stuff that I'm not going to go out of my way to buy myself. John had doubles in his collection, and he was cool enough to give me some of his older sports titles that I was stoked to get because I do love sports games. He also gave me 2 Evercade carts. First up is Pico Interactive Collection number 2, and this contains a lot of sports games. This is basically a sports game collection, and that's okay because I think it's a lot of fun. I love sports games. Next up, we have the Jalico Collection for the Evercade, which is really awesome. I'm very excited about this because it has Bases Loaded and a Styanax on it. 2 of my favorite games from the NES, and I can't wait to play them again on the Evercade. And then I got a pile of quality sports games from John. I got Davis Cup Tennis for the Genesis. I got Winter Challenge, Triple Play Gold, and Mario Andretti Racing, which is really awesome. Now, these are games that I wasn't going to go out of my way to buy myself, and for John to just give them to me because he had doubles, I appreciate it. Like, I love that he's so supportive of collectors and trying to get people to collect more, and to add stuff to my Genesis collection, especially from John, who loves the Genesis so much, was awesome. All right, a few local pickups now. I actually grabbed Justice League Task Force for the Genesis a couple days ago. Very excited about this one. I know a lot of people don't like it, but for me, it's a game I enjoy. I love DC superheroes, and be able to have them in a fighting game is really awesome. An N64 game that is actually kind of a blank spot for me. I have not played this one more than once or twice in the past, so I'm very excited to get back into it. And that is Diddy Kong Racing, and I know that's kind of a cardinal sin for folks, but it didn't click for me when I played it back in the past, so I'm very much looking forward to playing it now. This one is kind of awesome. Now, this is not complete in box. I do need to find the maps for it, but Final Fantasy for the NES. This is just absolutely spectacular. I am so excited to have this game. I love Final Fantasy. The series is one of my favorites of all time, and to have the OG on the NES right here, yeah, that's super cool. 2 of our best friends in town here, Sarah and Tim, are just awesome to us. Victor is wonderful friends with their kids, and Tim is a huge video game fan, and Tim wanted to give me some stuff for the game room, so I gotta say thank you. He gave me this awesome license plate. It says Game On it, which is really cool. He got this at Rocket Fizz here in town. I got a copy of Clue on the Genesis, which is super cool because, I mean, Clue is just an awesome game. Who doesn't love Clue? And then this one, which I absolutely love. Not a huge fan of the game, but the fact that this is complete in box and just in fantastic condition for Eternal Champions, very stoked about this. Tim and I actually joke about how much we don't like Eternal Champions, but he had 2 copies, so this is kind of like the videotape in the ring. He's now passed it on to me, so I've got 7 days to make someone else play it, I guess. All right, and last up, and definitely not least, this is from a fellow YouTube creator and one of the best people I know on the platform. Someone I am just so proud to call a friend, and to see the year he's had, and to see just how generous he continues to be, and how much he's always pushing for everyone to better themselves and for everyone to continue to improve their channels and their lives and everything like that is just, it's awesome. If you have not subscribed to Rock Solid Productions, you need to. Gary is one of the best dudes I know. He is just an unbelievably giving person, an unbelievably caring person, and just quality from jump. I got a random message from him. I talk to Gary every day. Gary and I are part of a group chat on Facebook with other YouTube creators, and Gary and I talk every day. And he and I share a love of a lot of things. You know, obviously we love games. We love things like tin signs for decoration. And he sent me a message kind of out of the blue and said, "Hey, I need your address." And normally I would be like, "Why?" But it's Gary. I just trust Gary. Gary's a good guy. And so I gave it to him. And then like a week later, these unbelievable signs showed up for the game room. And I want to show them off now because they're stunning. And I can't thank Gary enough for them because they're just amazing. All right, first up, Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers 2. You can probably see where this one's going. Super Mario Brothers 3. Yeah, I am eternally grateful for how awesome the people are that I've met in this space. YouTube has been a pretty awesome thing for me, and yeah, the channel being what it is wonderful, but it's the people I've met because of it that have made it worth it, and that includes you guys, and that leads me to the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So what we're going to do now is we are going to head over to the computer. I am going to get the spinner going, and we're going to pick our 1,000 subscriber winner. All right, so we had 7 entries in the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and we're going to press the button right now to spin the wheel, make the deal, and find out who our winner is. All right, here we go. And the winner is Geek Shuck Aaron. Congratulations, you have won. I will be in touch via email to get your information, and it will be sent out post haste. Congratulations, my friend. Glad you won. Thank you so much for being a supporter from Jump. Thank you for so much for constantly evangelizing the show and for just being a part of the success that we have here. I appreciate it, and it will be on its way. All right, guys, so there you have it. My recap of my Seattle trip, my pickups from the last month, and the winner of our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Congratulations. Thank you so much for entering. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite thing is that I picked up, or if there was anything in Seattle you think I should have checked out that I didn't mention on this trip. If it's Archie McPhee, I win, I promise. Please hit like, please subscribe down below if you enjoyed today's video. I want to thank my Patreon sponsors for today's support. I really appreciate you guys being here. You guys are just fantastic, and thank you so much for everything you do for the channel. Until next time, guys, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.